sports medicine students, you should have a packet, Nutrition in the Athlete, that says Chapter 8 on it that looks like this. If you don't have this, just jot down some notes. The blue words is what you'll need to know, but jot down some notes on paper until these packets get back. All right, so we're going to jump right in. Tomorrow or yesterday, you guys will have had the introduction in class, so we're going to jump into the notes here now. Nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which a living organism assimilates. Assimilates means to take in, to consume food, and uses it for growth and the replacement of tissue. So we're breaking down, our bodies are breaking down. We have to take in or consume food and nutrients in order to build our tissue back up. So nutrition is the process by which a living organism assimilates or takes in food and uses it for growth and replacement of tissue. Nutrition is a field of science or study that deals with food and nourishment. So nutrition deals with food and nourishment. Proper nutrition can reduce the likelihood of injury and increase performance. This is why we are talking about nutrition. It's a big deal in sports performance. Our next slide shows the three big pieces or factors that affect an athlete's performance. So the one that we're going to talk about now is nutrition. We have control over our nutrition, so we can change our nutritional habits, we can eat better, and we have control over that piece of the puzzle in becoming an effective athlete. We also have control over our training and what we do in training, how hard we work, how much effort we put into practices, and the effort that we give. What training are we doing? Your coaches play a big part into that. But your training and nutrition are two pieces that we have control over. The third piece of the puzzle we do not have any control over. Your genetics plays a big part. It's a big piece of your athletic performance. You were either dealt great genetics for athletics, or maybe you don't have the best genetics. You don't have that genetic link to athleticism, but you can kind of overcome some of those things through training and nutrition. But if you have all three of those things together, that is going to give you the best performance, the best that you can do. So factors that affect athletic performance. There's 3 slots on here for your notes to take. Genetics, training, and nutrition are the 3 pieces, the factors that affect athletic performance. Rewards of high performance nutrition. So if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the effort, if you're willing to eat the things that you need to eat, some of the rewards, there's 4 of them here. You'll be able to train longer and you'll be able to train harder, which will affect your body. It will make it more efficient so that you can perform better. Another reward of high performance nutrition is delaying fatigue. If you're eating McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, you're eating junk food, if you're eating candy on the way to games and candy after the games, if you're eating fast food all the time, you're going to fatigue more rapidly than somebody that is fueling their body with the proper nutrition. The third thing, it will help your body recover faster after working out. So I know we've talked about, maybe we haven't talked about it this semester so far, but you know that it's really important, your snack, what you eat after you work out, that you're refueling with carbohydrates and protein. Chocolate milk, you've probably heard, is a great post-workout drink. But it will help your body recover faster after working out. And the fourth one is performing much better overall. Your nutrition affects your performance. And some athletes in high school would like to argue with that because they think they eat junk food and that they think that they're doing well and they're just fine. But we know through research that performance will be better overall if you're eating the correct food. So you could be better at your sport. Energy is our next category. Energy is the power used to do work or to produce heat or light. Energy is the power used to do work or to produce heat or light. Energy is needed. It's needed to maintain body functions, all of our body functions. It's needed for active movement, for our muscles to contract. It's needed for growth and repair of body cells. We have to consume energy. In nutrition, energy is measured as units of energy are calories. So the more calories that we consume, the more units of energy that we have available for our body to use. We will talk about RED-S, or relative energy deficiency, in athletes a little bit later on, I think probably next week. where the athlete is not consuming enough calories for the activity that they are doing on a regular basis, and that creates a deficit and many problems within the body systems. All right, if we were in class, here's my questions for you. I want you to think about these since y'all are at home this year. Have you eaten any Girl Scout cookies? Most of us have. Most of us like Girl Scout cookies of some sort. If we were in class, we'd probably have a discussion, Mr. Snow. We'd probably debate a little bit on what our favorite cookies were and why. Then I want you to think about, is there anything that you didn't eat because you were full of Girl Scout cookies? So in other words, you go to your pantry and you decide that you're going to eat Girl Scout cookies. Instead of going to the refrigerator and getting carrots or celery or an apple or some type of fruit or vegetable, or maybe a complex carbohydrate, a granola bar or something like that, we choose the cookie, which is not going to give us the nutrients that we need. It's just junk calories. Then have you ever skipped a meal because you were full on snacks? This is something with 2 young kids. They love to snack, and when they're hungry, so they get home from school, they want to eat a lot. They're very hungry. They want to have snacks, but then they're not hungry for dinner, and they don't want to eat any of their dinner, their meat, their vegetables, because they've had too many snacks. If you ever have a choice between an apple and a Girl Scout cookie, which would you choose? It's always a good question for class. There's always a few people that would choose the apple over the Girl Scout cookies. So if that's you, that's great. Eating for optimal performance. You're going to be working on a project that you talked about yourself there. Eating for optimal performance. The breakdown of an athlete's meal, these are our macronutrients, or big nutrients. Carbohydrates, protein, and fat are the 3 macronutrients. As we go through these over the next week, we'll talk about how much you need of each one of these macronutrients as an athlete. And most of them are a range, and you use your body weight in kilograms to calculate how much of the carbohydrates, protein, and fat that you will need in your diet. All right, next slide. These 6 essential nutrients. The human body must have a balanced diet consisting of the following 6 essential nutrients. Those 6 essential nutrients, and you need to write these on your paper. Oh, no, it's on here for you. They are carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. You may have learned about these in middle school health class, or maybe your sophomore year in health class. But these are the 6 essential nutrients. We have to consume these 6 essential nutrients. Our body does not produce carbohydrates. It does not produce protein or fat on its own. We have to consume these things through nutrition. The first one, and we'll probably just get through this, the first one today, is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is an essential nutrient that provides the primary source of fuel for the body. So as an athlete, or anybody, in this case, sports nutrition, carbohydrates are your main source of energy. You must consume carbohydrates in your diet. Athletes should focus on nutrients that are dense in carbohydrates as your main source of energy. Most athletes should shoot for 50 to 60% of your total calories from carbohydrates. So if we go back to this chart on carbohydrates, 50 to 60% here should be from carbohydrates. Of your diet should be from carbohydrates. Foods such as whole grains, pasta, vegetables, and milk are all good sources of carbohydrates. The primary source of fuel is the carbohydrates, which is glucose, is our source of energy. There's 2 types of carbohydrates. The first one we're talking about is simple carbohydrates. The second one is complex. We want more complex carbohydrates in our diet. The simple carbohydrates, those are our sugars. They're broken into monosaccharides and disaccharides. Monosaccharides are simple form sugar, glucose, fructose. Anything that ends in ose, if you're looking at a food label, is probably some type of a sugar. Disaccharides are double sugars, sucrose, maltose, and lactose. But remember, see, those all end in OSE, or sugars, simple sugars. The next one is complex carbohydrates. These are our starches, and this is what we really want athletes to load up on. These are called polysaccharides, which are complex carbohydrates such as starches and fibers. Athlete and carbohydrate needs. Athletes need 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per gram of body mass. So I want you to get your calculator. Find your phone, get your calculator. And so I'm going to use myself as an example. So I weigh 130 pounds. So you need to type in your body weight. I'm typing in 130. And then I'm going to divide by 2.2. This is going to give me how many kilograms I weigh. So I weigh 59.09 kilograms. 130 pounds is 59 kilograms. Then I'm going to take my body weight in kilograms, which is 59, and I'm going to multiply times 6 because we want 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body mass. So my low end is going to be around 350, 330 is my low end on carbohydrates for the day. If I take that same 59 and I multiply times 10, because that's 590. So my range is between 336 and 590 grams of carbohydrates in a day is what I would need if I was an athlete. So 336 to 590 grams of carbohydrates a day. I will say it's difficult to know how many carbohydrates you're getting unless you use something like MyFitnessPal, which is an app that will track how many carbohydrates, all of your macronutrients for you, so you don't have to keep track of that. Bananas are an ideal source of carbohydrates. It's rapid refueling, comes in its own biodegradable wrapper, so it's a really easy thing you can throw in your bag. Choose green fruit for slow energy release, and choose yellow or brown fruit for quick burst, like a banana. Oatmeal, another example of a complex carbohydrate that would be a good source for you. It consists of unprocessed oats and nothing else. It's made with skim or low-fat milk. This increases your protein, and the fiber provides slow-release energy. Cereals and protein bars. These are easy to pack. Protein bars are generally healthy. They have a long shelf life, so you could leave them in your bag for a while. However, not all protein bars are created equally. Some have much more fat and sugar in them, as like a Snickers bar or chocolate bar. So read the labels with care and choose varieties that is made with whole grain and contains protein. Brain break, our next thing we would have talked about in class. Do you like to eat white bread, wheat bread, or 100% whole wheat bread? Those are your options, so think about that. What do you all eat? What do your parents buy, or what do you buy at the grocery store? White bread, wheat bread, or 100% whole wheat or whole grain bread? All right, we're going to start tomorrow with proteins. Thanks for listening in. You should be through the carbohydrate section here. So on the back of the first page, you should be down to protein on your notes. All right, we'll see you next time.